Mastering data collection. So let's say last week I was a talented agent in Business Bay, spent 45 minutes researching for what? For a client meeting. And you know what she ended up with? Three random WhatsApp screenshots, a broken link to some blog post, and the Dubai Marina price from 2023. Sounds familiar? And if you have ever spent half an hour clicking around and ended up with absolutely nothing you can actually use, that madness stops today. Here is the brutal truth. I have seen destroy countless client meetings. Most agents are digital hoarders. They collect random links like souvenirs, no timestamps, no context, tons of duplicates. And I have seen agents with 50 bookmarks, all called Dubai property news, or screenshots with no dates. Then comes that dreaded client question: where did you get this information? And suddenly you are scrambling like you're back in school trying to cite sources you can't remember. And there's a compliance nightmare in Dubai's regulated market. When RERA or DLD asks about your claims and you say, I saw it somewhere online, it's not just embarrassing, it's potentially career damaging. But what if I told you there is a stupidly simple system that takes just 5 minutes and gives you 5 rock solid inputs that would impress even the toughest compliance officer? I am talking about a method that is so organized, so traceable, that clients start referring you to their friends before the meeting even ends. And in your next few minutes, you will master the 5 in 5 technique using a simple CSV sheet. You'll tag everything to DSPP, our demand, supply, price and policy framework from the last lesson, and prioritize primary sources that make your briefs bulletproof in Dubai's regulatory environment. So if you're ready to become a data collection ninja, are you? Let's dive into the system that separates professionals from amateur are. Step number 1. The 5 in 5 recipe. What to collect? Now think of this like making the perfect shawarma. You need exactly the right ingredients in the right proportions. We are hunting for one item for each DSPP bucket plus one secret sauce. Okay, so starting with demand. D. We want the pulse of the market. Inquiries flooding in, viewing requests, response times from your CRM. CRM is customer relationship management. Now that's your database of leads and clients. If your CRM shows response times dropped from 4 hours to 30 minutes, that's demand heating up faster than Dubai in July. S is for supply. New launches, handover notices, inventory shifts. And here's a pro tip. Handover notices are gold. When a developer announces keys are ready, that's hundreds of units hitting the rental and resale markets simultaneously. I once tracked a JVC cluster where 3 buildings handed over in 1 month. Now that's over 1,000 units changing the supply game overnight. Next is price, P. Not just asking price, but achieved ranges. DOM, so the days on market, how long properties actually take to sell, and yields for investors. Always look for the portal data with methodology links. You want to know how they calculated those numbers. That was price. And the last P is for policy. DLD updates, RERA regulations, mortgage changes, LTV shifts, that's loan to value ratios. And here is one mini mess: building level STR notices. STR means short term rental restrictions. Each building can have different Airbnb rules, and that affects investment decisions. Now, this is your secret weapon. One real observation from your week in the field. Maybe you noticed more for rent signs in a specific tower, or security mentioned increased viewings. Label it clearly as your observation. And then comes the compliance moment. We are prioritizing primary sources. Official PDFs from developers, portal methodology pages, DLD announcements, and your own CRM exports. We'll timestamp everything and keep PII, that is personally identifiable information like client names, completely out of our file names. Okay. So let's have a look at this. This is the document that you would find in your so that's the primary source quick list. Training sample, educational only, prefer primary official sources, site links, timestamp entries. So DLD, fees, circular systems, Ukudi Jari, RERA, advertising, licensing, training updates, developer websites, brochures, handover notices, payment plans, portal methodology pages, and monthly snapshots, price bands, DOM inquiries, and so on. So that's some of the primary sources where you would find the relevant informations. Step 2, fill one row live. For example, this is the signal collector and JVC is the sample in our case. Now if you see this, we have a timestamp column. Now if you're using Excel or Google Sheet for this, you can simply write over here is equal to now, and it takes the exact time when this cell was created. That's that. Then you have the date, the community, the bucket, that's DSPP, this is the demand bucket. Source title is portal snapshot, viewing requests up month on month. Source type is portal. Then we have the primary source link, code or metrics. So viewing request for JVC appears up 6% MOM week on week to week. This month value, last month value, MOM percentage, direction up, down, right, left. Decision it informs. If inquiry volume appears firm, keep pricing within active band and focus on weekday slots. Notes, portal methodology linked, training sample URL, confidence on a. So that's how you fill this signal collector sheet. Okay, moving back. Okay, so we just saw a filled up sheet from JVC with information put up in DSPP bucket. So the source title, the source type, the URL, the code or the metric, and the numbers. And then comes the decision it informs. So if near term handover increases available stock, prepare seller clients for potential pricing pressure, and refresh comparable sales data. Every input must answer, so what? So if something happened, so what? If there's a new handover happening in JVC, so what? What does that mean? So if there are no handovers planned in the next 6 months in JVC, so what? So what is something that you should be answering or based on all the inputs that you are making. Official PDF from developer website, construction timeline methodology included in the document. Now, when you look at the complete examples with all the 5 entries, you see how each row tells a story. Let us come back to this. Yeah, so you see how, not this. Okay, let me. Okay, yeah. So you see how each row and each column tells a story. Demand shows increased inquiry volume, supply tracks handovers, price reveals asking range stability, policy notes new DLD fee structure, and our on ground observation mentions increased weekend viewings activity we personally witnessed. That is your story. That is the story that you are going to sell. That is the story that you are going to pitch. That is the story that you are going to present in front of the prospective clients, investors, buyers, sellers, and so on. Moving on to the next step, that is step 3. Now, before you save anything, run it through the 3 questions noise filter. Now, these questions have saved me and many other agents from embarrassing moments. Question 1: is there a clickable link? If you can't link to it, it's hearsay. Question number 2: could I replicate this search next month? Now, if it's buried in some random social media feed, it's not systematic. Meaning, so if there is a information from DLT, you can replicate the same search next month and still get the same results. If there is an update from RERA, or if there is an update from a developer, you can replicate that same search, go to the same website, look for the blogs or the news or the information updates, and you will find that same information in that same structure every single month. But if it is a social media kind of an update where something came up randomly and you decided based on that, well, you cannot replicate it in the search next month. And the third question is, what specific decision does this inform? If you can't answer this in one sentence, it is just trivia. One no answer means don't log it. Be ruthless. Your reputation depends on quality and not quantity. Step 4: save like a pro. Now, organization separates amateurs from experts. Save your CSV in your monthly folder structure. Now, what is your monthly folder structure? Year, month, community. So, year, month, JVC. 01 sources. Signal collector. Once again, the year, month, community.csv. For example, 2025-08 underscore JVC. That is the main folder. Within that we have 01 underscore sources, that is the subfolder, and within that we have the signals underscore collector underscore 2025-08 underscore JVC.csv. Now, this system lets you track trends over time and find information months later. And here's your legal safety net. Always add this disclaimer to any client facing materials. Information only, not financial or legal advice. Verify details with Dell, DLD, RERA, and your brokerage compliance team. Okay. So, here is what just happened. You have transformed from a random information collector into a systematic intelligence gatherer. 5 inputs, 5 minutes, 1 organized CSV file with timestamps and primary sources. You are not just building a database, you are building a reputation as the agent who always has the facts, always knows the sources, and always stays compliant. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, and trust me, you should download the complete 1.2 resource pack waiting for you below this video. Right now, not later, not tomorrow. Open that CSV template, collect your first 5 inputs, 1 from each DSPP bucket, plus 1 on-ground observation from your own experience this week. Save everything under your sources folder in your monthly directory structure. Your future self will thank you, the present you. And when you are pulling together a client brief and everything you need is perfectly organized and instantly accessible. Next, what we do is return your organized inputs into a stunning 1-page market brief that books appointments and builds authority. You are becoming the market intelligence expert your community deserves and Dubai deserves.